Oh man, wherever you guys are in this beautiful nation, you are going to love this one with every bit and fiber of your being, because when you are a gun controller in a gun control city and your excuse for your gun control failures is that other states are doing it, and the ATF comes out and says, yep, nope, that is not borne out in the data, you are full of shit. Oh, it's an amazing day. Guys, you are going to love every second of this. Of course, everything will be linked in the description box below. I always bring the receipts, and make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Every time you do, gun controllers stub their toes and angels get their wings. All right, listen, people, we're going to dive into this one, because if there was not a better way to start a Friday, oh man, of course, jump over on X at Braden LOA. Let's dive into this. Because you know the rigmarole that we go through in the gun world when basically we say, hey, your gun control laws are stupid, lefties. And they say, nuh-uh, they're totally fine and they work. It's those pesky red states, which is, of course, a cop-out and stupidity. But here's a good sampling. This is the mayor of Chicago, or excuse me, goodness gracious, the mayor of Chicago. This is not Pritzker. This is Brandon Johnson. Listen to what he says about these red states. Goodness gracious, guys. Listen to this, and then we're just going to have some real fun with this one.
However, we will never be able to end gun violence in Chicago as long as the president continues to allow tens of thousands of guns to be trafficked into our state and our city. The vast majority of guns do not come from Chicago.
Well, let's have some fun with that one. Again, guys, if you want to be part of the cutting edge fight for the Second Amendment and all of our other freedoms, hit that subscribe button, because this is the place to be, the cutting edge, if you will. All right, people, listen, we're going on offense because the data just got released, and that's a little uncomfortable. Because it's not just Brandon Johnson, it's also Governor Kathy Hochul, it's also Gavin Newsom. It's all the gun control states, governors, and mayors, because they just can't cope with the fact that their gun control is not only unconstitutional, it also doesn't work because criminal is going to criminal. But, you know, you've heard these points, but let's dive into this article. And I've got the actual data, too, to back this up. ATF data, guns recovered in Illinois are largely from Illinois. It's weird. I thought the vast majority were not from Illinois. Yeah, let's dive into this, and then I'll show you the actual article. ATF gun recovery and trace data from 2023 for Illinois shows that Illinois is the state of origin from which the majority of guns are recovered and traced. Oh my God. Oh man, the ATF just out here just slaying myths. Love it. According to the ATF data, 22,973 firearms were recovered or traced in Illinois in 2023. Of those, 9,147 were from Illinois, and in a distant second, 2,796 were from Indiana. Well, there goes that narrative. Beyond Indiana, there were not even 1,000 guns recovered or traced with origins in another single state. Like, for example, Missouri had 952, 663 from Wisconsin, 390 from Tennessee, etc. Oh, we're going to have so much fun when I crack open this data for you. And again, everything's always brought into receipts, because I love you guys. I always have to verify these things. The Second Amendment Foundation's Costas Moros commented on the ATF data via X, writing in part, quote, also, note that a gun being from another state doesn't necessarily mean anything. Someone may have moved to Illinois, then had the gun stolen there, where it was used in a crime. The average time to crime of an Illinois trace gun is over 6 years, so the idea that this is guns being bought up in southern states, then shipped to Chicago to be used for service in gang warfare is ridiculous. Well said, it is. And there's the video that I just showed you. So, now without further ado, let's dive into that pesky ATF data. You know, that ATF data that disproves all the gun control from the far left harpies who are trying to take our gun rights and then have to make excuses for why it just simply doesn't work. ATF, as you can see, total number of firearms recovered and traced in Illinois in calendar year is 22,973. Right there you can see it. But now, let's zoom out a little bit. Firearm types with an Illinois recovery. Again, there's the data set. Pistols, 18,544. Revolvers, rifle. Wow, I thought rifles, because they hold the dreaded assault weapon, would be above pistols and revolvers by large margins, because after all, that's the bane of all existence. But pistols? 18 times more than rifles? I tell you what, guys, wonders never cease. It's almost like they're lying to you in order to take your rights, using fear and manipulation. I don't know where we would have said something like that. Anyway, let's keep on going. It's almost like we're over the target. We're just going on the offense, guys. We're literally just diving into it. And we're just going to smack them with data because they're liars. And then let's go down just a little bit further. Those dreaded assault weapons that they always say and they banned, and they're so evil. It turns out a majority of the calibers used are all pistol cartridges all the way until the very end, the third from the bottom, 5.56, and then 7.62. Collectively, 724. 23. Yeah, 24. 724 out of 22,000 were rifle calibers. Anyway, sure that's unrelated. Let's keep on going with the other states because this is the big payoff right here. Top 15 source states for firearms with an Illinois recovery. Remember, Mayor Brandon Johnson, this guy, said that a majority of these guns that were in Illinois, in a gun control state, in a gun control city, were all from other areas. A majority. Well, that's very strange, and I can't imagine what this data from the ATF is saying then. The top 15 sources for firearms with Illinois recovery from their states respectively. Illinois, 9,147, with the second place of Indiana, you know, the person who's guilty of everything, 27,960, 96. So how is that possible? I mean, that's almost 3.5 times. Okay, and then Missouri, all under 1,000. Missouri, Wisconsin, Mississippi, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, Iowa, Ohio, Alabama, Arizona, Florida, Michigan, all sub 1,000. But Illinois is 9,147 and a close second at 2796 as in Indiana. You guys picking up the bull that they're spreading? Because, I mean, like they're just showing out manure now. Time to crime rates. Of course, this is the time from a gun's purchase point to a time that it's actually used in a crime. Time to crime rates for firearms with an Illinois recovery in the year of 2023. Turns out most of them are 3 years and over. So there goes another nail in the coffin around the fact that people are buying guns in red states and just trafficking them in. Because who traffics something in for a crime they're going to do 6 years later or 3 years or over? Again, we're just literally just nailing nails in these coffins all day long. If we're going to win because they're lying and manipulating and it's easy to bear out in the data. And we actually have the balls to say it. There it is. You're looking at it right there on your screen. Let's keep on going. I got something else for you. Now, again, you would think that this would be a statewide issue. If the guns are being used and, trafficked in like this, ignore the whole it's all handguns and also ignore the fact that they didn't come from multiple other states, all of them or most of them from Illinois, which is direct contradiction to what the mayor said. You would think that it would be equally distributed across all the cities, but no. Chicago, one of the more gun control zones. Chicago, 11,460 of them, with the next second place, Springfield, at almost under 500. And respectively, every other city in the state of Illinois. That's weird that the more intense that you go with gun control in the state of Illinois, the more the numbers go up. Man, I would love to see this guy talk about that. Anyway, let's keep on going. It's almost like it's manipulation and control. And then there's all the data. That data is available if you want to see it. Bottom line, what am I getting at, Braden? I can almost hear you guys saying that through the camera right now. Well, I'll tell you, people. This guy, Hochul, Newsom, Pritzker, they all just lie. And here's the thing. The reason they do it is completely and totally nefarious. They just lie to take yours and everyone you know and the next generation's gun rights away. Because after all, what's a little lie for the greater good? That's what they tell you. All the data bears it out. All the constitutionality bears it out. All the real life common sense bears it out. It's all control. I don't know how to make it clearer than that. But that's what I've got for you to start this Friday off. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you let me know what you think in the comments field below. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. But I'll tell you what, this has got to sting a little bit. And I'll see you on the next one.